Welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the invisible world of radio frequency interference, or RFI. We're going to uncover the hidden static that messes with our daily lives, everything from the accidental noise in our homes to, well, deliberate attacks that can threaten some really critical systems. All right, let's get into it.
Now, just so you know, this is the second part of a 12-part series. It's all based on a really comprehensive report called Radio Frequency Interference, Navigating the Invisible Threat to Connectivity, which was put together by Virtualization Options LLC. For this session, we're focusing squarely on what's in Chapter 2, the sources and causes of RFI. So picture this. You're on a super important video call, or maybe you're finally streaming that season finale you've been waiting for, and boom, it freezes. The dreaded buffering wheels start spinning. You immediately blame your internet provider, right? But what if the real culprit is something much closer, something you'd probably never even think of? Okay, let's start with the most common kind of interference out there, the accidental kind. This is all that unintentional, invisible noise that's being generated by the thousands of devices that, just fill our modern world. So what are we actually talking about here? Well, to put it simply, unintentional interference is what happens when a device that's not supposed to be a radio transmitter ends up acting like one anyway. It's not malicious or anything. It's usually just a side effect of a poor design, maybe a malfunction, or frankly, just the way the device works. And this image, wow, it really nails the problem. We are literally living in a sea of signals. Our phones, our smart gadgets, our city infrastructure, it's all broadcasting something. But mixed in with all that useful data, there's a ton of this unintentional noise, creating a kind of electromagnetic pollution that our wireless devices constantly have to shout over. And the sources are everywhere, and I mean everywhere. They're in your kitchen, hello microwave oven, they're lighting your office building. Even those cheap phone chargers you buy or a damaged power line right outside your house can be a major source. And when you scale it up, things like industrial welders or even electric trains are just pumping out huge amounts of RFI. Now get this, the microwave oven example is just perfect. To heat up your food, it blasts energy at 2.45 gigahertz. And guess what? Your Wi-Fi router is very often trying to talk to your laptop on almost the exact same frequency. That's not a coincidence. That's a direct collision. It's literally why your internet connection might suddenly drop the second someone in your house decides to heat up some leftovers. Okay, so we've got our own gadgets making a mess of things. But it doesn't stop there, because nature itself can be one of the most powerful sources of interference you can imagine. Just think about the sheer scale of these two forces. On one hand, you've got a lightning strike, a massive local blast of electromagnetic energy that can just scramble radio signals for hundreds of miles around. And on the other hand, you have a solar flare, a storm happening on the sun 93 million miles away that can mess with GPS and high-frequency communications for the entire planet. And the crazy thing is, this natural interference isn't all just random chaos. It actually follows some pretty predictable patterns. There are daily cycles, as the sun heats our atmosphere. There are seasonal cycles, like more lightning during summer storms. And there's even a huge 11-year solar cycle that leads to periods of really intense solar storms that can wreak havoc on our tech. So we've covered accidental noise and natural noise. But what happens when the interference is on purpose? This is where the topic shifts from being just an annoyance to being a direct, serious threat. The key word here is intent. This isn't a leaky microwave or a storm on the sun. Nope. Intentional interference is a deliberate act. It means someone is actively and purposefully transmitting a signal with one goal in mind: to break someone else's wireless connection. Generally, these attacks come into two main flavors. First, you've got jamming. That's the brute force method. You just flood a frequency with so much noise that the real signal gets completely drowned out. It's literally like trying to have a conversation while someone is shouting in your ear. Then you have spoofing, which is way more subtle and maybe even more dangerous. Instead of just blocking a signal, spoofing means sending a fake but believable signal to trick a device, like making a cargo ship's GPS think it's hundreds of miles off course. And here is why this is such a growing problem. This isn't just spy movie stuff anymore. The technology you need to launch these kinds of attacks, especially with things called software-defined radios, has become incredibly cheap and really easy to get. This puts some seriously powerful tools in the hands of not just governments, but also criminals and, well, anyone who's determined enough. So, with all this noise flying around, accidental, natural, and even malicious, you have to be wondering, right? Who's in charge here? Who are the traffic cops for this invisible highway? Well, here in the United States, that job belongs to the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. They're the ones who set the rules of the road, who can transmit, on what frequency, and at what power level. Their entire purpose is to manage this shared resource so that all our different wireless services can exist without constantly tripping over each other. And you should know, the FCC is not messing around when it comes to intentional interference. The penalties for getting caught with a jamming device are incredibly steep. We're talking civil fines that can top $100,000 per violation per day. And that's not even counting possible criminal charges or having all your equipment seized. So, we get the sources, we get the rules, but what's the actual bottom line cost of all this interference? Well, the economic impact is frankly staggering, and it hits us in ways we might not even realize. Let's start with something we can all feel: laggy Wi-Fi. All those dropped video calls, all that buffering, all that lost productivity, it adds up. The estimated cost just from poor Wi-Fi performance in the US is a mind-blowing $8.2 billion every single year. But as huge as that number is, it's nothing compared to the cost of knocking out our more critical systems. Just think about how much of our world relies on GPS, shipping, aviation, farming, even the financial markets. A nationwide GPS outage for just one single day could cost the economy an estimated 2.4 times billion dollars. That's billion with a B. This quote from the report we're drawing from, it just sums up the whole problem perfectly. The radio spectrum is a shared resource, kind of like clean air or clean water. And when one person pollutes it with interference, they're basically imposing a cost on everyone else who needs to use it. It is a classic economic problem, and it's called the tragedy of the commons. And all of this leaves us with a really big, really important question. Look, our future is wireless. There's no doubt about it. We're connecting everything: our cars, our homes, our entire cities. But as we do that, the pressure on this invisible, finite resource is just going to keep growing. So the real challenge is, how do we protect the very thing that holds it all together? That's what we need to figure out.